Alright, this is going to be a quick video on trigonometric ratios. We're going to talk about sine, cosine, and tangent. The nice thing about these three ratios is it actually tells you, it's like a recipe, what goes on top and what goes on bottom. The key, of course, is identifying what's the opposite, what's the hypotenuse, and what is adjacent. The first thing you want to do when you're starting out with trig is always figure out where you're at. And since it's all sine of A, cosine of A, tangent of A is the spot that we are going to be standing at, similar to a map at the mall that you're trying to figure out where you're at in location to maybe a store you're looking for. From A, the key here is to identify the opposite side. In order to do that, what you do is you're standing on A. If you were to go across the triangle through the middle, the side that you run into across from the angle is going to be your opposite side. So here on this one, the example would be 4. If you are trying to find the hypotenuse, which would be the next thing. So the first thing is always look for the opposite side. Second thing is come to the right angle and go straight across the middle to the side opposite, which here would be the 5. And that would be your hypotenuse. Notice also that I'm taking them just a quick second to label each of the things here. What's opposite, what's hypotenuse, how to make things simpler down the road. Using process of elimination, that means that our 3 has to be adjacent. Adjacent just means next to. People get that confused. So if you do your steps of finding opposite, hypotenuse, and then adjacent, everything will go smoothly. Nextly, if that's even a word, what you want to do now is find your pieces, your ingredients. Opposite goes on top. So what you'll do here is you'll just take your 4 and put it on top. You will take your fraction bar, which we'll make here real quick. Let me get a little line going. Alright. And then it says here, what we need to do is the hypotenuse on bottom, so you get 4 over 5. If you're doing cosine, adjacent, so you would take the 3, put that on top, hypotenuse is 5, that goes underneath. Again, it should be written as a fraction, so we'll get that fraction bar in there. Finally, tangent, which is opposite over hypotenuse, or adjacent, I'm sorry. Here's a opposite 4. Your adjacent is 3. Almost a combination of sine and cosine without the hypotenuse involved. Alright? And that is your trigonometric ratios. That is just your simple setup. Again, the key to all the trig stuff that we're about to get into is that you have to be able to identify where you're at, which here happens to be angle A. What's opposite the angle that you're at? Where's the hypotenuse? And then finally, what's adjacent? Last little thing too is always notice that the hypotenuse is the largest side in this whole thing. So right here, if you look at this, right here, the 5 is the largest side. This is trigonometric ratios. I'm Mr. Boyle, and I'm out.